Super 8 Easter Rugby Tournament came to fruition in 2018. The tournament grew steadily in popularity every year, with 2023 being the fourth edition and larger than ever.
Another time for another year for the Transnet Saldanha Super 8 Rugby Festival, where all the action is currently taking place over this Easter weekend.
Transnet has been the tournament sponsor for the past 4 editions and have helped to create a great support for the creation of the successful tournament.
Yes, the cross kick. Now, which way does this ball bounce? Favorably for Progress.
Teams that have participated in the tournament in 2018 covered 3 provinces in South Africa. In 2023, there were teams participating from 5 provinces, and the goal is to increase the scope of the tournament by inviting teams across 7 provinces in 2024. There is nothing like the vibe at the Saldanha Easter Rugby Tournament over the Easter weekend. Fans come out in their droves and pack the stands as well as surrounding beer garden and grass embankments to feast on the spectacular rugby showcase. 15,000 to 18,000 spectators attend for the duration of the Easter weekend.
It's a capacity crowd.
The Saldanha Easter Rugby Festival is not only about the on-field spectacle, but an economic impact assessment was done and it indicates an investment into the West Coast towns of 7.8 million rand. Saldanha Rugby is all about the community. SuperSport broadcasts the games live.
And again, it's space that's sought and found, and brilliant playing, running off the ball. Progress have got their second try.
In 2023, both Saturday and Sunday were broadcast live on television, while also being streamed on the SuperSport Schools app. The viewership has grown over the years, having reached tens of thousands of viewers across the country. The Saldanha Super 8 Rugby Tournament only grows bigger and better every year. The Saldanha Super 8 Easter Rugby Tournament came to fruition in 2018. The tournament grew steadily in popularity every year, with 2023 being the fourth edition and larger than ever.
Another time for another year for the Transnet Saldanha Super 8 Rugby Festival, where all the action is currently taking place over this Easter weekend.
Transnet has been the tournament sponsor for the past 4 editions and have helped to create a great support for the creation of the successful tournament.
Yes, the cross kick. Now, which way does this ball bounce? Favorably for Progress.
Teams that have participated in the tournament in 2018 covered 3 provinces in South Africa. In 2023, there were teams participating from 5 provinces, and the goal is to increase the scope of the tournament by inviting teams across 7 provinces in 2024. There is nothing like the vibe at the Saldanha Easter Rugby Tournament over the Easter weekend. Fans come out in their droves and pack the stands as well as surrounding beer garden and grass embankments to feast on the spectacular rugby showcase. 15,000 to 18,000 spectators attend for the duration of the Easter weekend.
It's a capacity crowd.
The Saldanha Easter Rugby Festival is not only about the on-field spectacle, but an economic impact assessment was done and it indicates an investment into the West Coast towns of 7.8 million rand. Saldanha Rugby is all about the community. SuperSport broadcasts the games live.
And again, it's space that's sought and found, and brilliant playing, running off the ball. Progress have got their second try.
In 2023, both Saturday and Sunday were broadcast live on television, while also being streamed on the SuperSport Schools app. The viewership has grown over the years, having reached tens of thousands of viewers across the country. The Saldanha Super 8 Rugby Tournament only grows bigger and better every year. The Saldanha Super 8 Easter Rugby Tournament came to fruition in 2018. The tournament grew steadily in popularity every year, with 2023 being the fourth edition and larger than ever.
Another time for another year for the Transnet Saldanha Super 8 Rugby Festival, where all the action is currently taking place over this Easter weekend.
Transnet has been the tournament sponsor for the past 4 editions and have helped to create a great support for the creation of the successful tournament.
Yes, the cross kick. Now, which way does this ball bounce? Favorably for Progress.
Teams that have participated in the tournament in 2018 covered 3 provinces in South Africa. In 2023, there were teams participating from 5 provinces, and the goal is to increase the scope of the tournament by inviting teams across 7 provinces in 2024. There is nothing like the vibe at the Saldanha Easter Rugby Tournament over the Easter weekend. Fans come out in their droves and pack the stands as well as surrounding beer garden and grass embankments to feast on the spectacular rugby showcase. 15,000 to 18,000 spectators attend for the duration of the Easter weekend.
It's a capacity crowd.
The Saldanha Easter Rugby Festival is not only about the on-field spectacle, but an economic impact assessment was done and it indicates an investment into the West Coast towns of 7.8 million rand. Saldanha Rugby is all about the community. Supersport broadcasts the games live.
And again it's space that's sought and found, and brilliant playing, running off the ball. Progress have got their second try.
In 2023, both Saturday and Sunday were broadcast live on television, while also being streamed on the Supersport Schools app. The viewership has grown over the years, having reached tens of thousands of viewers across the country. The Saldanha Super 8 Rugby Tournament only grows bigger and better every year.
Gentlemen, I think we are ready to start. So, ladies and gentlemen, good evening all. My name is Ryan Don. I'm an executive member of Saldanha Rugby Club. And alongside me is Mr. Johan Marman. He's a member of the organizing committee, also known as Events Company by Venture, who is hosting this tournament on behalf of Saldanha Rugby Club. I hope that you are all comfortable, you are relaxed, you are also very excited, not only to be part of this evening's event, but also to be part and parcel of the Easter tournament as a whole. Just a few pointers before we start. The restroom is on my right-hand side, the white doors over there. And please use your mobile devices so that it does not interfere with tonight's program. Lastly, there is a dedicated team, media team, that will be responsible for the live streaming of the event, as well as a dedicated team who will be responsible for taking the photos. So there's no need for anybody to come forward and use your iPhone and take some photos or selfies with anybody, okay? That has been sorted out. The official welcoming will be done by our chairman, Mr. Yassim van der Westhuizen, but unofficially, let me welcome the following persons or dignitaries. First of all, I want to welcome the leadership of the local municipality, Saldanha municipality. I want to welcome the leadership and acknowledge the leadership of Boland. There are, I think, 3 of them. I also want to acknowledge and welcome the leadership of Saru. He just arrived, and Bertram Benson is always late. I don't know why he said that. Let me also acknowledge and welcome the members of Brave Venture. It's their function, but let me welcome them to their own function as well. Also, acknowledgement and a welcome to the media and the musicians, Don Vino. Thank you guys for making this possible for us. And also, I want to welcome and acknowledge all the sponsors present, and also those who are not present tonight for their contribution in making this event a successful one. Last but not least, let me welcome also the management team of Saldanha Rugby Club, and then the 8 representative teams of the Super 8 tournament. Let me also welcome the Rhinos to the Western Cape, as well as Kruisfontein from the Eastern Cape. Welcome to the Western Cape. Also, let me also welcome you to the West Coast for the other teams from Cape Town, from Worcester to the West Coast, and more specifically to the beautiful town of Saldanha. And to be more specifically, welcome to the back-to-back champions, Saldanha Rugby Club. I must just mention that. Ne? Allow me also, before we continue with the business of the day, to do as we have done last year and remember the little girl, Jocelyn, who tragically went missing about a year ago. But before I continue with that, let me just stop there and pause and call upon Pastor Errol O'Neill to the front, and he will open the event with a prayer in order to make Jesus part of this event this evening. Thank you, Pastor Errol.
Thank you, Ryan. For those of us that can stand, let us stand. Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, your word says that in him we live and move and have our being. And that speaks of your sovereignty and of your presence. We're all here this evening just to celebrate, but to give thanks to you for the grace you bestowed upon each one of us throughout this day. When we woke up this morning, there was breath in our bodies, in our lungs. And so thank you for the ability you give us, Lord, just to come and give thanks to you. We pray, Lord, that even in this competition, there will be great competition. But Lord, with each team and each captain as they lead, will just lead with pride and with great prestige of the unions they represent. Thank you for the organization, the organizing of this tournament, the hard work that has been put in by everyone, Lord, and we are privileged and honored to be a part of it. But now we also just pray that for every other item that's going to be mentioned and done this evening, that it may just be a success in the sense of the way it's represented or presented. And we honor and we say thank you, we bless you for every person that is here tonight. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen and amen.
Thank you, Pastor Errol O'Neill. Just in the case of any emergency, I don't think it will be necessary. But in the case of an emergency, the evacuation exits will be the last 6 tables will go through that door, and the front 6 or 7 tables will exit on this door. And they will have a roll call in the parking area outside. So that is in case of an emergency. And I think, and we hope all that will not be necessary tonight. Let me now call on Ms. Samin Wenzel. I think every year it's tradition that we light a candle. I've just started that in the wrong way in the program for little Jocelyn, who been missing over a year ago. And it's our prayer and our heart's desire that she will be returned alive and safely. We also want to reaffirm our support for the justice system under the capable leadership of Judge Nathan Erasmus. So Ms. Wenzel, if you will please come forward. And if it's possible for you to stand, can we all please stand? And I think there will be music in the background. That's what we call excellence, né? Thank you, Ms. Wenzel. Thank you, Don Vino. En ek dink die keus is nie net vir Jocelyn nie, maar dit is vir almal daai kinders en daai persone wat weggeraak het en dalk nooit gevind is nie. Maar ons glo en ons hoop en ons vertrou dat Jocelyn binnekort teruggevind sal word, né? Ladies and gentlemen, let's continue with the program. Just if you wonder at what function you are, I didn't mention it yet. You are currently sitting and you are invited at the function, the 6th edition of the Super 8 Easter Rugby Tournament. The 6th edition of the Saldanha Super 8 Easter Rugby Tournament. So let me continue by calling on our chairperson, Mr. Yassine van der Westhuizen, who will do the official welcoming. Thank you, everybody. Give him a hand of applause, please.
Thank you, Mr. Program Director. Good evening, everybody. Fellow rugby enthusiasts, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome and acknowledge the following people. Our Mayor, Executive Mayor, Mr. Andre Troete. Executive Member of SARU, Mr. Willie Small. Our beloved President, Rugby Union, Boland Rugby Union or Sanlam Rugby Union President, Mr. Benny van Rooy. Our Vice President, Mr. Pat Maran. Mr. Philip Humphries, our regional and also executive on the Boland Rugby Union. Then I would like also to acknowledge some of the sponsors here, Mr. October Blue Ribbon, Mr. Oni of Kellogg's Noodles, Mr. Newlade Eggs, Mr. David Nell of Newlade Eggs, Mr. Lebebe of Hollywood Bats, and then obviously the rest of us. You know, I know all of you sitting here by name and surname and middle name, date of birth as well. But I have to do that. It's going to take me until next week to welcome everybody here. So a warm welcome, as already indicated, to our 6th edition of the Saldanha Super 8 Easter Rugby Tournament on behalf of our executive management of Saldanha Bay Rugby Club, as well as our brave venture as the organizers of the event. So feel welcome in our beautiful town of Saldanha Bay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Yassine van der Westhuizen. I think it's time for something to filter us a little bit up for the evening, so it's now time for the starters to be served. I don't know what is the arrangement, if you must, yeah, I think you must, yeah, you must come and dish yourself. And I think, Don Vino, you will entertain us for this session. So the starters will be served, and okay. Can we ask the VIP, the dignitaries, the first table, the table over here, the first ones of the first table, and then we move around there. Okay, first table, second table, third table, and fourth table. So you are free to go, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have about 10 minutes for the starters, okay?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Johan Marman, part of the local organizing committee. Thank you for being here. Like they said on television, I am dressed by Allway tonight. My jacket, my shirt and my tie, sponsored by Allway. So, and my underpants, sponsored by PEM Sport. I've got my own shoes, Shamim. Ladies and gentlemen, it brings us to the White Sock campaign loans. Tonight, as we gather for the Saldanha Super 8 Easter tournament, we are reminded that sport is more than just a game. It's a reflection of our communities, our struggles, and our hopes for a better future. This year, we take to the field not just as athletes and administrators and supporters, but as voices against two pressing issues that affects us all: gender-based violence and the rising tide of criminality in our communities. The White Sox campaign is a symbol of a collective stand against these injustices. As we watch the players take to the field in white socks, let it be a reminder that we cannot remain silent. Too many women and children in Saldanha and across the West Coast and throughout South Africa live in fear. Too many of our young people are drawn into crime, their futures stolen before they even begin. This campaign is a call to action, an appeal to our conscience, a challenge to our leadership, and a promise to those who suffer in silence that they are not alone. We are honored that our elders are leading this campaign. And in this campaign, our elders are Pastor Elliot de Bruin, Auntie Johanna Stoffels, the former mayor, or a former mayor of Saldanha Bay Municipality, and our patron, Maxwell Moss, also called the Little Mandela. They are the pillars of our communities, the keepers of our wisdom, and the one who remind us of the values we must uphold. They have seen our struggles firsthand, and they know that change begins when we take responsibility, when we step up, and when we refuse to accept violence and crime as part of our daily lives. Let this Saldanha Easter Super 8 tournament be about more than just winning and losing. Let it be a statement that in Saldanha, in the West Coast and in South Africa, we will no longer turn a blind eye. We will stand together, we will fight for what is right, and we will reclaim our communities. To every player wearing white socks during this tournament, you are not just representing your team, you represent a movement. This noble campaign was the idea of a journalist called Mark Ward of The Sun. And we thank Mark for this initiative. I now call upon Mr. Mark Ward, the elders, and Johanna Stoffels, Maxwell Moss, and Pastor Elliot de Bruin to sign the declaration. We also call on the 8 captains of the team that's participating in the Saldanha Super 8 tournament to come and sign the declaration against gender violence and criminality. The declaration reads as follows. We, the participants of the 2025 edition of the Saldanha Top 8 Easter Rugby Tournament, pledge our commitment to fighting gender-based violence, criminality, and substance abuse. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for that declaration. It's my pleasure now to introduce to you our next president, speaker, and our president, our beloved president, as the chairman alluded, Mr. Benny van Rooij, known for his phrase, as jy nie geoefen het nie, bly by die huis. So I hope you practice. So ladies and gentlemen, your hands, my hands, put together for Mr. Benny van Rooij.
Thank you, Mr. MC. That phrase was only for you, because he wants to become the next chairman of Saldanha. Now I don't know. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, our beloved Willie Small, Saru Exco member, my vice president, my leader Philip Humphreys, all the 8 teams present, pastor, the organizing committee. Thank you for the invitation to Boland. I have to tell you that I did not pressurize you to invite me. It came out of your own. Ladies and gentlemen, as the speaker said, that's the 8th of the 6th edition. Now, in my vision for Boland, I've said we have to create hope, there must be opportunities, there must be renewal, and there must be unity. But I will not talk of all of them. I will take only one. Seeing that is the 6th edition, chairman of Brave Venture, we have to renew. It cannot be that it's only men and 8 men clubs who participate in the tournament. As I have had a chat this morning to the chairman and asked him what he want me to tell the crowd present. And I know I'm on live stream now. So Bert, I will not be out of my lane. I will stay in there. But I have to make sure that, one, South Africa has taken a step, and I was not aware that you will sign a declaration as part of gender-based violence. And as president of Boland, I support it. And let us start with the men who are present here. Let us start to make a difference in the rugby world outside. We've got 8 teams from 8 different provinces. Let us start to make a difference. Secondly, is rugby is no more only played by men. As an honor to honor the women in our lives, let's make them part of the tournament. That is, in my opinion, renewal. Boland has got the biggest amount of schools. And part of renewal, I believe, is to bring on board. And me and the chairman had a nice chat about a tournament for kids. But I have to stay in my lane, and he too. So I've said to him, Bert, I'm now busy with a new sponsor. That's not one of these. That's a brand new one. So after I've launched that, Bert, and that will be more or less in the month of April or May month, then I will come back to you and allow you to sort of bring on board school kids, because they also want to play in a tournament like this. You know, why I bring it up is development of rugby is very important. And they have to take a development arm of Brave Venture, of Saldanha Rugby Club, and do it in that way. Because Boland produced a lot of Springboks. Here's Rhino Benjamin, one of our own. Sane, he's telling the people he's from Limpopo, or where are you now? He comes from the Dwarings. There he was born and bred. So he's a Boland boy. I've always tell people when I'm delivering a speech like this, if you look, someone here tells that Saldanha are back-to-back champions, I have to correct it. Yes, they are, but it's because of COVID. So the Springboks are real back-to-back champions. COVID didn't stop them. But if you look into the present Springbok team, there's a lot of kids there who come from Boland. So we must never neglect development in sport. So Mr. Mayor, I've also got a message for you. Within 2 to 3 weeks, I will come back to you. And I want to talk to the whole of your leadership in Saldanha municipality. And our agenda will be development of rugby within your community. And on that, you have to give me money to help you to make tackle bags and tackle shields. On that, I will write that messages, that declaration that the people sign now there. So that if the men practice and the one who comes to tackle, that guy with the tackle bag, they have to read that message. Don't fight with your wife. Mr. Marman, as the MC, thank you very much. I don't want to pass my 5 minutes. Bert and your team, Yasin, Saldanha Rugby Club, I want to wish you all of the best for the tournament. And may you reap the fruit of what you put in. I don't know how much money you get until this moment, but I will hear it. So, all of the best for you, and MC, all the best for your campaign to become the chairman. I don't know, but all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. We're not fighting elections now. We're busy with a tournament. The government of national unity is in tatters, but ours remain. Ladies and gentlemen, and to the viewers outside, this broadcast is made possible by Nissan Holdings. I hope you're still there and watching this live event. Talking of live events, our naming rights sponsor is none other than SuperSport International. Let's give them a round of applause. So all games will be live and direct from the Transnet Saldanha Stadium. And yes, we will have a TV referee, you know, for that times when people score a try and, let me not go there. I had to get it in. Indeed, the Boland is the cradle of rugby, of South African rugby, and we thank the leadership of the Boland for their vision. It's now my pleasure to call again on one of our esteemed SARO executive members. He's a good friend of the club. He plays an advisory role and advise us how to do the best for the club. And I'm proud to call him my friend. Let's put our hands together for Advocate Very Small.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Goeienaand, dames en heren. Molweni. Gaan het goed met jullie allemaal? Ladies and gents, I was just, before I address you on my duty, when I was sitting there, I was reflecting actually on my journey. Last year I was here at a tournament in a different capacity. I was standing in for my friend Tumbeni, Boland's president, and tonight I'm here in my capacity as our executive, standing in for our president Mark Alexander. So a sincere apology from our president Mark Alexander. Unfortunately, he's in Hong Kong, busy with World Rugby business. Also from our deputy president, Mr. Francois Davids, as well as our CEO, Rian Oberholzer, as well as Henny Bartman, our EXCO member. Ladies and gents, all protocol observed. Our mayor, Mr. Trutter, our president, Penny van Wey, Boland president, deputy, vice president, and Philip Humphries, EXCO member. I also noticed the patron of Saldanha Rugby here, Mr. Maxwell Moss, is here. I also want to acknowledge him. Also want to acknowledge Auntie Johanna Stoffels, previous mayor of Saldanha. All distinguished guests, ladies and gents, it is a real honor for me to, wait a second, it is a real honor for me to address you tonight. Ladies and gents, esteemed guest players, coaches, and the passionate rugby supporters of Saldanha, it is an absolute honor for me to stand before you today on behalf of South African Rugby Union, to mark the countdown and celebrate this incredible spirit that we will see during the Saldanha Easter Tournament Super 8. This tournament is more than just a display of skills and competition. It is a powerful reminder of rugby's ability to unite, to inspire, and to transform lives. Today we acknowledge not only the teams competing, but also the broader impact that this event has on the local community and the sport as a whole. Saldanha and the West Coast has a proud and storied rugby tradition. And hosting a tournament of this magnitude is a reflection of the passion and the commitment of this community. Events like these strengthen the very foundation of our game, ensuring that rugby continues to grow from grassroots up. It is here on these fields that young boys and girls develop a love for our sport. And we know we have Reino Benjamin in our midst tonight. We know Sultan van Wyk coming from this community. Donovan Don, just to mention a few, where they learn the values of teamwork, discipline, and resilience. Values that will serve them both on and off the field. Club rugby, community rugby, is the heartbeat of our sport. It's about belonging. It's about the bonds formed between teammates. The pride of representing your town, your community, your club, your family. This Super 8 rugby tournament signifies the importance of resilience. The power of club rugby inspire and uplift, creating opportunities for young players to sign and for communities to come together in the celebration of our shared passion for this game. This tournament also holds a deeper significance. It's a tribute to the resilience and determination of clubs and players who, even during the most difficult times of their history, kept rugby alive. During the years of apartheid, club rugby in many communities was more than just a game. It was an act of defiance, a source of hope, and a symbol of unity. Despite these challenges, ladies and gents, rugby thrived because of the dedication of those who refuse to let the sport be taken from them. And today, as we gather here, we honor those and their legacy. We stand on shoulders of those who played, coached, and built club rugby, community structures that continue to shape our game. To the organizers, to the LOC, volunteers, sponsors, and the entire Saldanha Bay community, we extend our deepest gratitude. Your hard work and dedication ensure that rugby continues to flourish at this level. Through your efforts, you are not only hosting a tournament, but also paving the way for the next generation of players, ensuring they have the same opportunities to experience the joy, the camaraderie that rugby brings. To the players, coaches, this tournament is more than winning. It's about pride, it's about passion, and leaving everything on the field. Play with your heart. Respect your opponent. Cherish every moment, because these are the experiences that will stay for you for a lifetime. May this tournament be filled with thrilling rugby, unforgettable moments, and above all, celebration of the game we love so much. Saldanha Bay Rugby, Saldanha Bay Municipal and the West Coast, thank you for your incredible hospitality and for keeping the spirit of rugby alive and well. Enjoy the tournament. May the best team win. And I thank you.
Wise words from Advocate Willie Small, as Rita Franklin says so profoundly, is, can you see the windows of hope? And thank you for the Boland, thank you for Saru, for opening the windows of opportunity for us. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be back. I will be handing over now to the co-host, Mr. Ryan Don. But once again, I'm dressed by Allway, my underpension from PM Sport. I'm driven by Suzuki Friedeberg. The tournament will be, if you want to ignite the tournament, one of our sponsors is Ignite. If you want to place your bets, it's Hollywood Bets. And if you want your breakfast, remember it's Kellogg's. Ladies and gentlemen, so much later.
Thank you, Mr. Johan Marman. Let's continue with the program, yes. Let me call upon the number one citizen in our town, my former colleague. Let's put hands together for the executive mayor of Saldanha Bay Municipality, Andre Truter.
Some days I wish I was president of the rugby club and not the mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, what a tremendous honor it is to stand here tonight. There's so many faces, so many people in the room. Saru, ek het 'n boodskap vir jou vir Boland ook, oor hy Tsjekos, ons gaan nou daaroor praat. En Tannie Johanna Stoffels, wat 'n eer om u vanaand hier te hê. En wat 'n eer om te sien dat u vanaand en weet jy wat, ons het ons groot mense nodig om op te staan en weer daai diep waardes waarmee ons groot gemaak het in ons wakker te maak. So baie dankie aan jou en Max en al die groot mense van ons area wat weer vorentoe staan. Dit is vir my 'n geweldige eer om jou vanaand hier welkom te heet en ek moet jou uitsonder. Ek dink wanneer jy spesiale mense in jou lewe kry, dan speel politiek geen rol nie. Absoluut niks nie. The English say it transcends all boundaries. En so baie dankie wat jy in die verlede gedoen het en wat jy nog steeds doen. En dit is 'n dame. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give her a hand of applause. By the way, nobody told me I had to make a speech, so I had to shift on the move here, but I'm used to that. But I was thinking what is important in a town. It is traditions. We need traditions. We need values. Values speaks to traditions. And Bert, to you and the team, you've built a new tradition. A tradition that many people have dropped in South Africa. I remember in the late 80s going to watch the club championships at Kings Park in Durban. And it was a massive competition. I remember people like Luke Watson, Andrew Aitken, some greats playing there in the club championships. It was indeed, clubs was the pulse of South African rugby. Somewhere in the middle, that got lost. Somewhere in the middle, we forgot that schools is the feeding system of clubs, and clubs is the feeding system of South African rugby. Clubs is somewhere, club rugby was somewhere I went with my late dad. I can never remember who played. I can never remember the score. But I can remember having a very lekker time and jolling with my friends on the banks and playing rugby at halftime and generally playing the fool. But it was a tradition that I did with my dad. It was family building. It was community building. Now we see rugby fields with 8-foot fences around so that the ref doesn't get stabbed at halftime. So I'm so emboldened when I see that pledge tonight. I often ask, what role is sport playing in our community? I ask myself, and you need to ask yourself, bou dit ons gemeenskap of breek dit ons gemeenskap? Daar was 'n jong seun wat in die vleur van sy lewe was, wat by Langebaan 'n game rugby gaan kyk het en nooit weer huis toe gekom het nie. Dit is onaanvaarbaar. Dit is onaanvaarbaar. Hy het nog nie sy matriek klaar gemaak nie. So is rugby building, or is sport building our community? In Saldanha, I can really say yes. In Saldanha, when I saw Safcol 2 years ago getting through to the finals, and I saw the buses coming in, it reminded me of my rugby games with my dad. Such excitement, such passion, such anticipation. And when they won, who won? Rugby won. Communities won. The people won. Honorable President Mandela has said, nothing else can unite people like sport, and rugby in particular. But it can also be something that drives us apart. I'm proud to say, Bert, to you and your team, and to Johan, and to Saldanha Rugby Club, and when I say Saldanha Rugby Club, I'm talking to all the clubs in the area. We've got a proud tradition here. I think if Benny is 100% honest, he'll say he's a little bit jealous, but he probably won't admit it right now, but he will admit it to me later. I'm only joking, President Van Roy. We invite you here because we are proud of Boland, and we are proud of the role that Boland plays in South African rugby. May not be the richest, it may not be the biggest, but it certainly delivers the most gutsy, good players that this game has ever produced right here in the Western Cape, and in particularly in Boland. So well done to you and your team. Well done to Saro for the way that they're leading South African rugby. Mr. Alexander is a friend of mine. I served with him at Sascock level, and I'm always amazed that such a short man can make such big guys run around like they in fear, but him himself is only 4 bricks high, and the other guys are like 8 foot, and they do everything that he says. So he's an amazing leader. I think he's doing a good job together with you and the Exco. So thank you very, very much. We spoke tonight about changing, Tannie Stoffels, but change starts with me. Change doesn't start with somebody else. You mustn't preach to anybody else. You must preach to yourself. Change starts with me, and then you can say, how about you? Do you want to join me? So, and I absolutely support the plight of our ladies, the plight of our youth. Some days I feel like we're at war with ourselves. The most influential people in my life has all been women. First my gran, and her sister, and then my mom. My mom was my true north on my compass. And then there's my wife, Sheena. She said tonight, I may not say her name, sorry lovey, I had to. Later this month, we'll be married 34 years. 34 good years. Thank you, lovey. I honor you for the role that you play in my life. And I value you for every input that you do into me. And it's because of ladies like you and your mom and my mom that we are better men. So if you have a lady in your life, if it's your daughter, your wife, your gran, your mom, koester hulle. Pas hulle op. Want jy gaan hulle nie vir altyd hê nie. En of jy dit wil nou weet of nie, hulle is altyd reg. En Johan, jy sê wie het jou aangetrek? Wel, ek is die enigste eerlike man hier, my vrou het my aangetrek. So, and that's why everything matches. Otherwise, everything would be bond. I welcome the idea, President Van Rooyen, of ladies rugby. I think Bert will agree that I said to him a couple of years ago, we need to build on this amazing foundation that you guys have laid in Saldanha. We need to bring youth rugby into it. We need to bring ladies rugby. So all I want to hear from you, President Van Rooyen, is don't worry, Mayor, the check is in the post. I heard about that big sponsor of yours. And then I want to encourage people about, you know, today, after work, I drove to Lowville to the block, what we call the block. And you know what the ladies were doing? There must have been about 60 or 70 of them jolling touch rugby on a graded piece of ground. Willie, that was beautiful. A young gentleman in our office, Bob, had taken the initiative, went to put up 2 gazebos there, made some meals for them, and just invited the ladies out of the block. Why am I bringing that up today? We do not need rugby fields to play rugby. We've got beautiful sea sand. Beach volleyball was revolutionized by being played on the beach. Volleyball was a dying game, President. Why don't we build squares? It's easy. Put sand in them and let the children play. Get them off the streets, get them away from drugs. And here comes the players. Our children need heroes. But know this, they will not do what you say. They will do what you do. And with running out for the first team or for your town, even if it's the 4th team, comes a tremendous responsibility because the kids look up to you. And you should be driving block rugby. I first saw it, President, in COVID. Daai tyd was ek die MMC vir publieke veiligheid. Maar as ek gesien het as rugby game, dan kyk ek net aan 'n pad. Ek het dit nie gesien nie. Because it was so beautiful to see the kids coming out. My wife is scratching her nose, which means I'm way over my 10 minutes. So I'm going to do a call on the players. I'm going to say to you, first of all, you are most welcome to all the teams on behalf of the council. And I'm very, very free to say, on behalf of every resident of the Weskus, you are most welcome. Your supporters are most welcome. They will see our beautiful area, but they will also see our beautiful people with beautiful values and beautiful traditions. Spend a lot of money, buy a earth while you're here. Next year it will be double price. Die Weskus groei vinnig. And then I want to say to the players and the spectators, be safe, be responsible, on the field, off the field, and also when you're on the roads. And then I want to say, Bert, I pray that there's a blessing on this tournament, that it will build, and that we will all, ladies and gentlemen, will become agents of change and hope, and it will start in Saldanha Bay, but that it will reverberate through our entire country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Executive Mayor, not of the rugby club, but Executive Mayor of the municipality, for those kind words, and also for your frankness about safety at our rugby fields. And there was a very sad moment, yes, about 2 weeks ago in Langebaan. Let's continue with the program. I know the rugby players is not worried about all these speeches. They want to know what is the draw. Who will be our opponents in the first match. So I'm not going to take your time. I will continue with the program. Next on the program will be a video of those sponsors who contribute to this tournament under very difficult economic circumstances. So we will have a 10-minute video of the sponsors as the next item on this program. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was all the sponsors for the tournament. And the video.
Ready to show off your skills and wow the world? Say hello to Discover Sport, our pilot app for athletes of all kinds. Whether you're a newbie with sporting dreams and big ambitions looking to make your mark, or a pro ready to inspire and connect, or maybe you're a league, competition, or tournament wanting to stream your events live, Discover Sport lets you upload your sports content to our dedicated sports community platform, giving you space to upload anything about your sporting life, from training action, tips and trick shots to game highlights and epic achievements. We connect you with like-minded athletes, professionals, brands, and fans. So hey, join the fun, share your passion, level up your game. Discover Sport. Ambition lives here.
To the organisers of the Saldanha Super 8 Easter Rugby Tournament and the esteemed rugby community, we extend our deepest gratitude. Your dedication inspires us, and we're honoured to be part of this celebration of sport and camaraderie. Much like the teamwork on the field, PEM's journey began with a shared vision. What started as a passion for fashion in the 1980s has grown into something extraordinary. Today, PEM stands as a revolution in sportswear. From humble beginnings to dominating rugby fields, we've become South Africa's sports innovation leader. But this year, our mission went beyond sponsorship. We aim to champion the vibrant spirit of the West Coast through apparel designed to inspire travel and pride. Introducing this year's A Warm-Up Vest, a tribute to the region's rugged beauty and community. Every stitch tells a story, blending performance with the soul of the West Coast. How did we do it? By embracing bold visionaries. Driven by entrepreneurial spirit, a new generation of innovators joined our mission. Now, we unite experts in design, marketing, medical and cutting-edge production technology. One brand. Limitless expertise. Together, we're crafting the future of performance apparel and the future of our communities. The PEM Group, where legacy meets progress and every stitch fuels tomorrow's victories. Proudly partnering with the Saldanha Super 8 Easter Rugby Tournament.
To all Saldanha Super 8 rugby players, tournament organizers, teams, club management teams, officials, all officers, all supporters, and other sponsors present. My name is Joe Tau, the COO and Executive Director of African Blue Sky Investments Pty Limited, trading as always. And on behalf of our company, we are very proud to be one of the sponsors to the Saldanha Super 8 Rugby Tournament. This is a prestigious occasion in the Western Cape and a very big rugby games in the Boland area. Many teams are well represented, even though they may not be on the field today. They fully participate in this big game, and we are honored to be in it with them. Today marks our presence as a true South African world-class manufacturer of active wear and many other clothing portfolios, like fashion brands known as Black Rose, Giovanni Nero, Drymac, schoolwear, workwear, and growing into corporate clothing. Our association with the Saldanha Super 8 Rugby will go beyond helping us help our government in Vision 2030 to revive, resuscitate, and rescue the clothing industry. We look forward to more of your teams supporting Allwear as a manufacturer in regard, and we hope that you will help us clothe the nation. Good luck to all of you, all the teams, and we hope to enjoy ourselves while the best teams entertain us and do excellent work. Thank you very much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Erman Greyer, Managing Consultant for Ignite Advisory Services. This year marks our 4th year partnering with this prestigious rugby tournament, which is the benchmark for high-performance club rugby matches in the country. We should know this as we are the experts in local government performance management. Now, the reason for us getting involved in the Saldanha Top 8 Easter tournament is that we believe in creating community role models for our youth. We believe that these role models are the local club rugby heroes of their town's rugby clubs. These heroes live amongst them and they can see them on a weekly basis on the rugby field. The tournament gives them much needed exposure to those local club rugby players, and now they can be seen worldwide because of the broadcasting of these games on SuperSport. In closing, I would like to wish all the participating clubs good luck during the tournament. Our fellow sponsors, thank you for your support, and also the project management team, good luck in hosting a successful tournament. I greet you with our company slogan, which can also motivate the participating teams, which is the following: adding value all the time, every time. I thank you.
Greetings to everyone in attendance at the launch of the Saldanha Super 8 Easter Rugby Tournament 2025, which is about to take place over the coming Easter weekend. As supporters of community sport, we as Multisure have for the past few years been keeping a keen eye on the Saldanha Super 8, and this year we have been offered the opportunity to become one of the co-sponsors of this exciting event, an opportunity which we are honored and privileged to be part of. Unfortunately, I am unable to attend tonight's launch, but hope to see and meet you all at the event during this coming Easter weekend in less than 2 weeks' time. To all the organizers, co-sponsors, guests, participating clubs, as well as the supporters who will be attending this auspicious launch, I wish you an enjoyable time for the evening and hope to meet you all soon. Good night and God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we can give them a hand of applause. Thank you, Maris Arendse, for your contribution in making this video possible. And also on behalf of the organizing team, thank you to all the sponsors for their contribution to making this event a successful one. There's a slight change in the program. We're going to skip Blue Ribbon and we're going to move on to number 10. And let me call upon Mr. Oni from Kellogg's Noodle to come to the stage, please. And his name is Ifilio Luwapo. Ifilio Luwapo. Oni. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the attempt in pronouncing my name. It's actually Ife Oluwapo Oni. But you can call me Ife. Just the first 3 letters is fine. Good evening, everyone. And ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, the mayor, the president, Bullen president. Good evening, SARU executive members, the director of the tournament, and every single one in the room. It's a pleasure to be in your midst, and I'm honored to be here. Of course, starting, we have to talk about Kellogg's, right? And Kellogg's has always been a part of our lives. I'm sure we can all agree. The word breakfast will not be the same without Kellogg's. And much like rugby, or much like Kellogg's, vice versa, rugby has been woven into our history. Rugby is much more than a sport. It's a force, one that paves the way for a brighter future. It keeps our young men and women inspired and active, and it gives them a hope for a better tomorrow. I am reminded of the World Cup the World Cup final of 1995, when one game united a whole nation. The final of 2007, where hope was reborn. The final of 2019, that showed the dominance of not just a team, but a whole nation. and the final of 2023, where dreams became a reality against all odds. What's the name of that famous song? I believe it's Our World in Union. And we saw that come into reality once again in 2023. And that being said, it's a privilege to be a part of this auspicious occasion, to be able to get on board and support what this great initiative is doing in this town. Not just in this town, but in this nation as well. There's a lot that rugby does for us as young people. It takes our young men and women off the street. I know for a fact that rugby has been such an impact in my life. Moving over to South Africa for the first time, it was quite difficult to integrate into the society, and rugby was a big part of that. In grade 9, I found myself lost in class, not knowing what to do, where to go. And someone introduced me, a friend of mine introduced me to the rugby games or rugby training after school. I took part of that and I slowly began to love the sport. Needless to say, I played rugby from grade 9 up until varsity. I was privileged to also take part in the Varsity Cup. And it's been such an impact for me. It helped me build my confidence. It helped me be the man that I am today. It helped me stand in front of you today. And I know that this is the hope and dream that we are giving the young men and women of this nation, of this community as well. Rugby and food, or should I say, nothing unites South Africans better than rugby and good food. A good breakfast roll at a rugby game does the job. What our goal is as Kellogg's Instant Noodles is to bring this to reality at the rugby games, where it's not just about rugby, but it's about food as well. And not just about food, but about good food. I'm sure if you've tasted Kellogg's Instant Noodles, you've tasted the difference. There's nothing like our product on the market. I can say that boldly. You can quote me anywhere. And the idea behind us being a part of this is to be able to not just support this tournament, but to also give convenience to our mothers in the kitchen, to also be able to, to support when there's load shedding. I know we haven't had load shedding in a very long time, but whenever there's load shedding, at least you know, before load shedding starts, you've got 5 minutes to make some good noodle meal. And also to be able to give much more than food. It's to be able to support this great initiative, to feed people as much as we can, and to get them to enjoy themselves. When people come to a game and they're hungry, they tend to do crazy things. But when they've eaten, then they're okay. And this is why we are part of this. We would love to be a part of more initiatives like this. This is just the beginning. And just as rugby has been a part of my life, and a part of me being where I am today, I know that that is the same for many young people. And we can only hope and pray that the little that we do in our communities make that difference and also help people to taste the difference. Thank you so much to everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Ifio Luwapo, Oni, representative of Kellogg's Noodles. And I will now hand over to my co-host, Mr. Johan Marman.
We will introduce our next speaker, but before that, we take a lot. We take a lot of money from Take A Lot. That's one of our biggest sponsors, one of our premium sponsors. So, like we said, Take A Lot is one of the leading companies and is affiliated to the Media 24 group and the broader Naspers group, part of my company. Please give them a hand. Yeah, and if you want to feel funky, you go to Funky Lemon, which is also a long-lasting friend of us. And what's it all about? Sport. It's Spain sport, and then a new sport, DS sport, and obviously super sport. I want to introduce to you Mr. Tumelo Lebepe of Hollywood Bets. So place your bets for a big announcement.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gents. Hollywood Bet is thrilled to be part of the Saldanha Easter Rugby Festival for the 4th consecutive year. Our continued involvement speaks volume about how much we believe in this festival's incredible potential and the positive impact it has on the rugby community within this region. At Hollywood Bet, supporting the communities we operate in has always been at the heart of what we do. Before launching the Hollywood Foundation in 2021, we ran the My Community program, which played a key role in empowering and uplifting communities across South Africa. For the past 4 years, we've proudly supported the Saldanha Top 8 Rugby Festival. This partnership is part of our broader commitment to backing rugby at all levels across South Africa, helping the sport grow from ground up. Many may not know, but the Hollywood Foundation has been actively involved in the Ikawe Rugby Week for the last 3 years. This initiative is all about discovering the next big talent in the rugby game. And it's a true reflection of our commitment to nurturing grassroots for rugby. We are also incredibly proud to support teams at all levels of the game, including Hollywood Bets Sharks, Harlequins and Wanderers Rugby Club in Gauteng, and A-Link Pumas in Mpumalanga. Rugby is more than just a game. It's a unifying force. And we believe in its power to unite and inspire pride across our country. At Hollywood Bets, we are passionate about commit, empowerment, and making a meaningful impact both on and off the field. To conclude, Hollywood Bets is unwavering in our commitment to the growth and development of sports at all levels. From grassroots to professional. We are honored to be part of the Saldanha Rugby Top 8 Easter Tournament, where we will witness fierce rivalries, top-tier rugby, and a celebration of the sport we love. Let's make this year's festival an incredible moment. I thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and Mr. Lebepe for that. Before I introduce you the director of the tournament, this morning, around about 2 o'clock in the morning, we had a meeting, the LOC, and this person, Zenobia, I don't know how to describe her, but sometimes she's very difficult. She sets up a meeting at 2 in the morning. And I asked the reason why for 2 in the morning, whether and it's a team's call. And we spoke to a potential sponsor, and the time difference, the time zones, it was early evening there. And it's 2 o'clock in South Africa. Lo and behold, Zenobia Jackson organized that meeting. And absolute professional she is. By 2 o'clock, we had this meeting. We had a Teams meeting. Everybody was in their pajamas, but their cameras were switched off. And then we went to bed. I went to bed around about just after 3. And by 5 o'clock this morning, the deal was done. So, and by 11 o'clock, our legal counsels and the legal counsel of the potential sponsor have signed the deal. So, hats off to Zenobia, very difficult person, but she can organize a meeting in America itself. So, my gratitude goes, all of this is Zenobia's idea. This tonight, she made this special for us. It's absolute professional. So we will like Saru Advocate Small, we won't announce the sponsor until the check is in the bank. And we have learned from Saru and from the Boland, unless the check is in the bank, we won't announce it. So we will probably announce it the next day or 2, but I can confidently say all papers have been signed, and yeah, excellent. And now it's my pleasure to introduce you to the director of the tournament, the man behind this tournament, the master itself, the director of the tournament, my good friend, Bertram Vragum.
Thank you, Johan. Honorable Mayor, the Boland President, the Deputy of Boland, Mr. Pat Maran, Executive Member, Mr. Philip Humphreys. He's a prince in our midst, Mr. Vernon Vragum of the Khoi clan. Ek is ook 'n vraag om Vernon, so ek gee vir jou erkenning. Wie weet later word ek ook gekroon. Our main sponsor in the absence, Supersport, also in the absence, Take a Lot. Those are the 2 main sponsors. And I will thank all the other sponsors at a later stage in my address. Mayor, I've learned that Saldanha has become the crime capital of the West Coast. When I wrote this speech, it felt like episode 2, because last year it was the very same topic, but because this is so important to all of us, we cannot stop addressing the issues that are existing in our communities. And we all know that sometimes it is just cliches and without really addressing the issues thoroughly. It is indeed our responsibility to address these community issues. Mr. President, you are aware of the battles on our fields almost every Saturday. And because Boland have so many clubs, every Saturday people will have a look at our province, but not realizing what we are adding to all the communities. 221 clubs, am I right? I had a chat with, and I mentioned this last year, and I would like to mention this again because there are new people present tonight. I had a chat with Linston last year sometime, and he told me, Pat, that for a specific Saturday, he must appoint close to 400 referees. And in a normal week, by Wednesday, 50, 60 will not be able to referee that particular Saturday, and then he must rearrange and appoint other referees. Also, he told me that only 40% of all the referees currently in Boland have their own transport. So what happens is that if you want to send a referee to a particular area, then you must consider who's got the car to get 3, 4 other referees to go with him. So that is the situation. It is a dire situation. And what we sometimes don't realize is the fact that the very communities who are shattered and broken are the people who come to our fields on Saturdays. It's not new people. Advocate Small, the euphoria of the Springboks winning the World Cup brings unbridled joy and hope. But it does not solve the hardship and sadness that is so prevalent in our communities. I think we will all agree that times are different, that we did not face the challenges a couple of years, a decade or two ago, that the players of today are facing these days. Last year at Saldanha Bay Rugby Club, we embarked on a program to address mental wellness of our players. And whilst they are most important, it is also true that some of us who are supposed to lead also have serious challenges with regard to mental issues. We expect from players to perform on a Saturday, but we don't really know their mental state. Rugby, or sport in general, cannot be a temporary escape from the realities of our everyday existence. There has to be more to it. There has to be an awareness how we can address issues so that we can produce better players, better human beings, and ultimately, better role models who can become ambassadors for change. So what are the interventions that we need to talk about? It is a known fact that women have become leaders in our households, and that our men are sometimes present, but they are actually absent. It is difficult to do introspection and to understand that we need to change, and nobody likes bad answers about themselves. Priests, social workers, and mental specialists have big roles to play in our societies and especially our sporting clubs. But they can only play those roles if we reach out in the right manner. So from our side, we want to urge clubs to look deeper, to identify individuals and situations early so that it can be addressed, so that we can save a couple of people in our communities. With those words, the mayor has welcomed all the clubs in the Saldanha municipality and on the Weskus. The guys from Northern Rhinos especially, thanks for traveling this far. all the other clubs, Kruisfontein, thanks for your presence tonight. Guys, and that is one of the success stories for me personally. 2-3 years ago, I think Kruisfontein played in a final and they lost. And I was so hoping that they would come to the shores of the West Coast, and particularly Saldanha. And now you're here. It's a very small place outside Imansdorp, if I'm right. And what a success story. Welcome in the West Coast. To all the other clubs, Hamilton's, I believe you are either the second oldest club in South Africa or the oldest. The gentleman from, it is the oldest. 150 years, what a pleasure to have you guys here. Well done. And then Fekhi, I think Villages 142? 142 years, Villages Worcester. And then allow me to go through the list of sponsors. I'll try and make it short. You meet amazing people on a journey like this. People who are absolutely astounding in the way that they approach community sport, people, and I actually had tears in my eyes when I looked at that video, when I saw the care and what people are prepared to give. Quite speeches. So I met Trevor from Venitos through Kosi Harov, who's been such an instrumental part of this tournament and other tournaments. Kosi was never invited to the other launches. It's his first launch tonight. So Kosi, you must have done something right. To Mark and to Trevor, if you're watching, Trevor, thank you so much. Coca-Cola, Mark and Ashton, thank you. Amoya, Energy, Amora, you know, there are two, and I mentioned them last year as well, and I want to stress their names again. The mayor has referred to Auntie Jo. Auntie Jo turned 76 on the 1st of April. 76 years old, so vibrant still. Playing her role tirelessly. Auntie Jo, I have a lot of respect. Thank you for your contribution, not only for the tournament, but the fact that you realize that we are doing something big at IRI Rugby Institution in Saldanha. It's not only Saldanha's institution, it belongs to the West Coast. I told the president this morning when we spoke that is part of the Boland's development program, as is the top 8 tournament. We see it like that. It's in the boundaries of the Boland, and Pat, that is how we see it. To PEM Sports, that's the other lady that's very close to my heart. Shamin, you know, I don't think there's any club in Boland, SWD, EP, Western Province, and even further that you don't know about. You know, that's the one thing that people can't teach you and that you can't buy, and that's passion. And you have that passion. You've turned this tournament around. You've turned this tournament around, so thank you so much for what you are giving and contributing. Your husband is a silent partner, but I've picked up that he's the pillar of strength behind you. Thank you, sir. To Kellogg's, Mr. A, you know, you're a background person, but I've met the guy from Kellogg's today. Thank you so much for being involved with the tournament. And I hope that we will go places with this thing and with the community for years to come. Thank you for being present. And then a guy that I've, this relationship did not start off well. We had a big argument, and I know you're watching Denton from Multishore, but you know, we haven't met formally, but the way that you came on board, Denton, thank you so much. We'll have a couple when I see you in a couple of weeks. To Blue Ribbon, which started off small last year, and now they've gone in quite big. Hollywood Bids has been a valued partner for some time. Take a Lot new sponsor, adding a lot, one of the title sponsors. Supersport, from the very first tournament, Supersport has been on board. You know, and I think we are so blessed, because I don't think that Supersport is involved at the scale that they're involved in with Saldanha, with any other rugby club. So, in their absence, Mr. Graham Abrams, thank you for what you are doing for our tournament, and especially for community sport. Quantum Foods, New Ladies, a new sponsor, a car. They're actually saying that, look here, we trust you with our brand. And it's such a big responsibility. So thank you for the car that we can drive for 2-3 months. It adds a lot to the prestige of the tournament and also for the community. Funky Lemon has been a friend of ours. Brian, not the easiest person, just like Zenobia. Ben, you will know, difficult guy. I'm glad that you and him spoke tonight. I told him he must stay away from Facebook. He promised he will. Brian, thank you very much. Thank you very much for what you've been contributing to the club and the community. Mr. A, I've mentioned your name, 3Cube Management. Thank you for what you are bringing to the table. Much appreciated. We met Francois Groepe in December. I found that meeting very strange, Johan and Kosi, because, you know, when we left, I thought no deal was clinched. He walked off, and I thought to myself, you know what, this was now a waste of time. We're not going to mention numbers here, but he came in huge. Thank you, Francois. He couldn't be here tonight because he's running the 2 oceans tomorrow. 56 kilometers, I'll never do that in my life. Ignite, thank you, I've mentioned you, thank you very much. Discover Sport, Dwayne, new sponsor. Your enthusiasm with rugby, your passion, it's contagious. Thank you very much for what you are bringing to the party and also being present tonight. I'm almost finished, Mr. Mayor. SBM, you know, we have, and we've said this many times, I'll repeat it tonight, we have this beautiful stadium, and we are so fortunate. If I look across the Boland, we've got very, very nice facilities, and your municipality has provided us with the help of Transnet with one of the very, very best. We hope that we will see more Boland games here, Pat, Philip, and the President. It is a beautiful facility, and the passion in the West Coast is right for rugby. Sea Harvest. Alison is here tonight. We've walked some path, and together with Terence, it's been a long relationship. It's been a relationship not only with Saldanha Rugby Club, but with Saldanha Marines in the 80s, and I know that you are involved with so many other organizations. That is the one organization, Sea Harvest, that's, I think, creches, schools, you can just name it, rugby club, soccer, you are involved. If Sea Harvest closes down tomorrow, this town will become a ghost town. That is the honest truth. Thank you very much. DKS, it's a long relationship. Craig, thank you for being involved every year. And then, you know, two guys that there's now at the VIP, we signed a contract with Comtel. Damien is there, boss in Langebaan. He signed a 5-year contract with a club. We have Wi-Fi in the VIP and at IRI, a 50 meg line to go technical. It's a huge sponsorship because it connects people from wherever. And it's strange how people just come on board and support good causes. We also have a legacy partner now. You know, I'm quite embarrassed, and when you walk into the stadium, and you people that know the stadium, nothing has changed in 5 years. So now we've got a legacy partner. We're starting on Monday, and the legacy partners copy and paste from Langebaan, who called me this morning and said, listen here, there's nothing going on in your cloakrooms. Please, can we just change this? There's nothing going on in the foyer. Can we just, so we'll sit down with management of Saldanha Bay Rugby Club and see how we can improve the status quo. Strapped, a guy from Cape Town just called in, wanted to know about the tournament, and they're on board providing the 8 clubs with, I think, 40 rolls of plaster, and you know how expensive those things are, and also doing some bibs, and then Yard Map, Wayne's physiotherapy company. He was a physiotherapy at Eastern Province and also Namibia. This year was not an easy year for the tournament, but it has ended well. I hope that every player will have a blessed tournament, every club, every chairman, you enjoy the time with us in Saldanha. I hope that nobody will have a serious injury. And important, please, we have a proud history. Play the tournament in the right spirit. That is absolutely important to us. We will not allow anyone to spoil our atmosphere and the tournament. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Bertram. And now we come to the most important part of the evening, the draw and administrative arrangements. I just want to acknowledge the chairperson of the Boland Reveries, Mr. Sebastian Abrams, who will be in charge at this prestigious tournament. And we are from the Boland. No, we don't favor anybody. You are professionals, Mr. Abrams, and we trust that your reveries will show utmost professionalism. Yeah, don't knock the ball. I now call upon Zenobia to do the draw and the administrative arrangements. Zenobia? Oh, there's Zenobia. She will be assisted by Imelda Tyson, who is an EXCO member of the Saldanha Bay Rugby Club. Hello. Snabby, are you ready? Where's Imelda? Okay, the first two teams. We will ask the audience, and then I will ask Mrs. Humphries to do the draw. Northern Rhinos, and they will play against Imelda, the Mrs. Strutte. Oh no, please. Northern Rhinos will play Evergreens. The next two teams. The next team, I will be Mrs. Small. Kruisfontein. And they will play against, now was Tracy to do the draw. Kruisfontein against Blanco United. I will now ask Auntie Johanna Stoffels to do the next draw. Saldanha Bay Rugby Club. And I will ask the vice chairman of Saldanha Rugby Club, Batali Timbiespelos. Batali, nou moet je recht trekken. Don't just keep it a secret. Saldanha Bay Rugby Club playing against Villagers Worcester. The last one, Mrs. Zaroff Hamilton, and we ask Gabby Strauss. Hamilton's versus die Tiere, Tigerberg. Okay, so the games will be broadcasted live on Supersport. Game 1, Tigerberg versus Hamilton. Game 2, Multi-Shore Evergreens versus Northern Rhinos. The curtain raiser, Blanca United versus Kruisfontein. And the main game on day 1, Villages Worcester versus Saldanha Bay. I just want to stress that 3Cube management was the auditors, and there was no problems. Mr. Versaghi was there. Was it all fair and square? So 3Cube management confirms that that everything was in order. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the captains of the 8 teams, and now we will the administrative arrangements. Brian Russ, where are you? They will receive the playing kit and the socks and everything. So, and obviously now, for photo session. But before that, I want to ask Mr. Marius Arends, while the captains are in front here, to do the vote of thanks.
So nobody clapped in for me. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. So my vote of thanks will be general thanks. I think Bertram did most of the job. He thanked everyone by name, sponsors by name. So I will kick off. I think the food. I see there's some gentleman that's eyes is going that way the whole time, so I won't keep you much longer. So ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on this momentous occasion. As we come to the end of this incredible event, I would like to take a few moments just to express our deepest gratitude to all those who have contributed and make it a truly unforgettable experience tonight. First, we want to thank our Heavenly Father as the one who gives life, grace, knowledge, and wisdom on our part every day. And His grace, we believe, is on this tournament also. On behalf of Saldanha Bay Rugby Club as the host, and Preventive Services Pty as the company that is going to organize this event, we would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to our esteemed guests for gracing this occasion with your presence. Your commitment to the cause and your tireless efforts in pushing boundaries and driving change are truly admirable. We are honored to have had the opportunity to learn from each other, and are grateful for the time that you have taken to share your insight with us. To our distinguished speakers, thank you for your speeches, your presentations, and your engaging discussions. Your passions for your respective fields and your dedication to share your knowledge have made our event truly enlightened. Your words of wisdom drawn from your experience and your expertise have truly inspired us. To our generous sponsors and our partners, as I mentioned, Bertram mentioned you by name already. Thank you for your unwavering support and your commitment to our cause. Your contributions, both financial and in kind, have not only made this event possible, but have also helped us to extend our reach and impact. Your belief in our mission and your willingness to stand alongside us in our endeavors are truly appreciated. We are honored to have you as part of our community and look forward to continuing our collaboration in the future, working together for our shared goals. I want to mention somebody that was not thanked tonight. Bertram did all the other parts, so I want to thank also the Saldanha Bay Hotel for their nice hall and facility. Also to Don Vino that graced us with his nice music. Where is he? Is he here? Okay, but very nice. So not everyone had a chance tonight to give a speech, and therefore to all our attendees, thank you for being here with us today. Your presence, participation, and enthusiasm. I spoke to the captains when they got ready there for their jerseys, and the one guy said his whole town is coming to Saldanha. That's how enthusiastic they are. So we hope that you have found the discussions and the interactions as enriching and rewarding as we have. We are grateful for your patience because it's been a long night, your support and being part of our incredible event. Before I conclude, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge also the people that have worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make this night a success. From the technical team, and that's now nissenholdings there, and ensuring smooth audio visuals, and it was very good. Did you enjoy it? I almost say amen. You can hear I'm a brother. Your dedication, your professionalism, and attention to detail have not gone unnoticed, guys, and we're grateful for your hard work. In closing, I would like to reiterate that our deepest appreciation to every one of you for being a part of this remarkable journey. The success of our event is a testament to the power of collaboration, the strength of our community, and the shared vision that unites us all. As we leave this room and this hall today, let us carry our lessons, the inspiration gained from our experiences with each other, and let us continue to strive for excellence, to push boundaries, and to work together towards building a better future for ourselves and for the generations to come. Once again, thank you for your presence, your participation, and unwavering support. For those who have to travel, this became a national tournament, and there's some guys that travels from afar. Safe travels to you all. Thank you very much.
Just a supporting shot. This tournament is broadcast live by SuperSport. Last year's numbers, it was watched in 36 countries, and with a combined viewership of 1.65 billion viewers. This year, and for the West Coast economy, a study was done by the West Coast District Municipality. The financial injection to this tournament brings to to the West Coast over 3 days is more than 10 million rand. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my duties. I'm sponsored by Allway. I'm a sure of multi-sure. And don't forget your Kellogg's. And if you need energy, obviously, Omoya Energy. God bless.
The Saldanha Super 8 Easter Rugby Tournament came to fruition in 2018. The tournament grew steadily in popularity every year, with 2023 being the 4th edition and larger than ever.
Another time for another year for the Transnet Saldanha Super 8 Rugby Festival, where all the action is currently taking place over this Easter weekend.
Transnet has been the tournament sponsor for the past 4 editions and have helped to create a great support for the creation of the successful tournament.
Yes, the cross kick. Now, which way does this ball bounce? Favorably for Progress.
Teams that have participated in the tournament in 2018 covered 3 provinces in South Africa. In 2023, there were teams participating from 5 provinces, and the goal is to increase the scope of the tournament by inviting teams across 7 provinces in 2024. There is nothing like the vibe at the Saldanha Easter Rugby Tournament over the Easter weekend. Fans come out in their droves and pack the stands as well as surrounding beer garden and grass embankments to feast on the spectacular rugby showcase. 15,000 to 18,000 spectators attend for the duration of the Easter weekend.
It's a capacity crowd.
The Saldanha Easter Rugby Festival is not only about the on-field spectacle, but an economic impact assessment was done and it indicates an investment into the West Coast towns of 7.8 million rand. Saldanha Rugby is all about the community. SuperSport broadcasts the games live.
And again it's space that's sought and found, and brilliant playing, running off the ball. Progress have got their second try.
In 2023, both Saturday and Sunday were broadcast live on television, while also being streamed on the SuperSport Schools app. The viewership has grown over the years, having reached tens of thousands of viewers across the country. The Saldanha Super 8 Rugby Tournament only grows bigger and better.